This news program is proudly brought to you by Smart Start Breakfast Biscuits and Now Biscuits.
Reports on business operations presented today. Election petition on Wapenamanda in progress. And SDA preaches to visit the country. A very good evening. This is National EMTV News. I'm Grace Papiali. Thank you for joining us. Business Advantage International, along with Westpac and the Port Moresby Chamber of Commerce, presented the PNG 100 survey in a business breakfast held this morning at the Stanley Hotel in Port Moresby. The survey covers reports and expectations of business houses operating in the country.
Every year since 2012, the PNG 100 CEO asked the CEOs of some of PNG's largest companies on their profit, recruitment and investment expectations, and also some of the challenges they face while operating in the country. This year's survey results was presented this morning by Westpac senior economist Justin Smirk.
FX remains a constraint on the domestic economy. It prevents the importation of goods that can help grow the domestic economy. It is a constraint in growth. Security, law and order, of course, unsurprisingly, has been coming up, but you can notice that it's been increasing every year since 2021. It's a growing issue and one that clearly needs some form of response to. Also, unreliable utilities has continued to grow. It's now taken over telecommunications. Again, a critical source of domestic growth and activity.
Based on Smirk's analysis, apart from foreign exchange and law and order issues as the main factors that drive investor confidence, he pointed out the lack of government capacity is also a major factor.
The one that I think is critically important too is lack of government capacity. And the one that I find fascinating is the increase in regulatory uncertainty. In this environment of where we're trying to speed things up, firms are getting more and more uncertain about how they deal with government. And the lack of government capacity is critical. It's not necessarily about numbers of people, it's about how you do things, and how you get things done, and how you promote and grow talent. That is what they're talking about when they talk about lack of government capacity.
Upon concluding his presentation, Smirk highlighted what they also found to be an interesting factor was the lack of competition in the economy.
Firms aren't worried about competition here. That is not a dynamic economy. Firms should be worried about competition. What it's showing you is because of the constrained FX environment, because it's so hard to get in, because people don't want to take that risk, there's not a lot of competition in the market. Yes, that's great if you're a firm already here, but for an economy, that's not great. You want competition between firms because that's how you get dynamicism. So the lack of competition here, which is not seen to be an issue, to me is actually a sign of an economy that's been constrained and held back.
Edson Kuso, National EMTV News.
Port Moresby Chamber of Commerce and Industry President Rio Fiocco gave an update on the government's relief package for the businesses that were affected by the January 10th riots.
Speaking to the business community in this morning's business breakfast hosted by Business Advantage PNG, Fiocco says the government has budgeted 14 million kina as employee retention package for the affected businesses.
500 kina per fortnight for all those employees who no longer have a supermarket or a shop to go to work at. And if the businesses don't have any work for those people, in other words, they can't redeploy them somewhere else, then they'll be asked to go along to work at City Hall.
Fiocco says the relief package will run for 6 months from the date of the riot. He says warrants for the funds has been signed by the Minister, Ian Linkstaki, and they are waiting for the State Solicitor's clearance for the opening of the trust accounts, which should be done today. And for the business houses, he says the government's offer of 250 million kina as loan at the rate of 2.5% interest was not taken well by the business community.
Loans are not good enough. The businesses were not the cause of the riots. We believe that the police and their action in not following their statutory duty to serve and protect is the cause of the riots. And businesses, as you know, have lost significant amounts of money. We've totaled it all up through the businesses that have contacted us, and the total damages bill is around 800 million kina. That, of course, does not take into account loss of profits.
Fioko says if the government does not offer the desired relief in time, businesses may seek legal action, and if successful, it will cost the state more.
So the ultimate bill to the government, if that action is legal action is successful, could well exceed 1 billion kina.
Edson Kuso, National MTV News.
Meanwhile, the president of POM-CCI, Rio Fioko, also says in light of the January 10th riots, the government is now looking at ensuring insurance covers for business houses that includes rioting, as current insurance policies do not.
The government is looking at a couple of things. One is for the insurance commissioner to look at whether some sort of riot insurance cover could be offered in the future. So the insurance commissioner is investigating that matter. And it's likely also the government's announced that they're probably going to have a supplementary budget in May. Of course, the impacted businesses will have their profitability affected dramatically.
Provincial member for East Sepik and alternate Prime Minister Alan Bird, in a statement, raised concerns on the conduct of businesses in PNG amid many challenges. Bird noted that the year did not start off well for the business community and has not improved since, pinning a spotlight to the government's continued dishonor towards the promised relief package for the affected businesses.
Bird stated that business confidence have been declining over the years, highlighting that this year will be a breaking point for many of the resilient business houses in main centers across the country. Bird stated that Waigani clearly does not prioritize the hard-working parents who struggle to put food on the table. He said for business leaders, the prospects of downsizing, laying off staff, cutting costs and closing shops are the decision many are being forced to contend with. He further added that the remarks by Mr. Swire are a major wake-up call for leaders, stressing the need for stability in law and order, energy and policy are what the business needs. Bird notes the Westpac Bank's new economist who has confirmed much of what the opposition has been saying in the past few months about the challenges impacting the ease of doing business. He questioned that how can we expect our businesses to pay tax when they have to drive to work on poor roads in company cars that need to refuel in long queues, work in offices protected by fence and security, pay thousands of kina for unreliable power and more for generator fuel, and on top of that, have to contend with the increase in cost for goods and services. Bird stated that small businesses have to juggle with spending money on Easy Pay, phone credit or fuel, or decide how to spend their day, either lining up in queues at bank or IRC. He further indicated that the private sector is the engine room of any country. If they want jobs for the people, especially young people, they must help private sector to thrive. The opposition believes only a change in government will restore confidence by the business community. Sharon Engnui, National MTV News.
Justice Joseph Yagi had adjourned the Wapenamanda election petition case to the 27th of March for trial hearing. This is following the former Member of Parliament, Rimbining Pato, who has filed an election petition against the victory of Mickey Kayok as the Wapenamanda MP in the 2022 National General Election.
The election petition filed against Mickey Kayok's victory in the Wapenamanda MP race underwent a directions hearing at the Waigani National Court today. Both parties, represented by Rimbing Pato and Mickey Kayok's lawyers, have submitted their applications. After hearing the case, Justice Yagi advised for an adjournment for both parties to return on the 27th of March 2024 to progress this election petition. Furthermore, Pato's focus was on summoning Electoral Commissioner Simon Sinai to provide evidence, whereby the court has instructed Sinai to translate his oral evidence into affidavit form to assist all parties during the trial. These orders include summoning 2 other witnesses. James Guken, National EMTV News.
National EMTV News continues after the break. Stay with us. You're watching National EMTV News. The National Capital District Commission has signed contracts with a total of 6 waste collection contractors today at the City Hall in Port Moresby. The signing will allow contractors to collect domestic, commercial, schools and medical waste in the nation's capital.
These contractors will focus on domestic waste within the 3 electorates in NCD and will also look at commercial waste, medical waste and school waste respectively. During the signing today, the city manager Rafu Frank said to closely monitor the kind of work that the contractors do each day.
I am advised that we have close to 1 million people living in this city. So you can imagine the generation of the waste. So by way of policy, NCDC has been assisted by other partners, JICA, and also other partners who are well-versed and experienced in the area of solid waste management. And by policy, our board has also approved this arrangement here, as we're going to sign today. So we break up the city into the various boundaries, and then we manage the collection of the waste.
Mr. Frank urged the contractors to do their work diligently and in a professional manner for a healthy and clean city.
And I'd like to urge every contractor, do your jobs properly and professionally. As per your submissions in your tenders, and as per the conditions that have been outlined in the contract. Stick within your games, and since we will do our part, and we deliver.
It was announced that the contractors will go through an induction this week before commencing the waste collection duty in the nation's capital. Estagane, National EMTV News.
The Acting Managing Director of Climate Change and Development Authority, Deborah Sungi, has provided an update on the implementation of the National Greenhouse Gas Inventory Improvement Plan 2022 to 2024. Ms. Sungi highlighted the implementation as a huge achievement for PNG in mitigating greenhouse gas emissions.
Ms. Sungi stated that the plan has been implemented and provided an update on the report submission made.
So the project is actually to ensure that we achieve that NDCs. And for the improvement plan, it's actually been implemented, through of which we did submitted the PNG's second biannual update report. And we submitted back in 2020. Last year, we were undergoing the technical analysis with the UNFCCC through the IPCC process, of which we completed and presented in Dubai.
The Acting Managing Director explained that PNG from 2016 to 2019 has reduced its carbon emission from the agriculture, forestry and other land use sectors, highlighting this as a significant achievement for the country.
Reduce its emission from the agriculture, forestry and other land use sector, 61 million tons of CO2 equivalent. And that's something of which is a very, very significant government achievement, I'd say.
She further touched on some of the existing challenges whilst acknowledging support from various stakeholders involved in implementing this plan.
Bigger challenges that is still there is to actually reach all those targets and the projects that we have identified in our Handlands NDCs, and such support that we are receiving from the government of Australia now with the launch of the 20 million Australian dollars support.
Ms. Sungi further highlighted on how climate finance can be best utilized to fully implement targeted areas captured in the plan.
We really need to see how those funds will be stationed within the country, stay in the country here, and how do we disperse them to implement those projects. And this is actually what this project is trying to do.
Sharon Engnui, National EMTV News.
Department of Personnel Management Secretary Ms. TRAI Sport has clarified that due process was followed in the appointment of the Acting Managing Director for Climate Change and Development Authority, Secretary. Secretary Ms. Sanson stated that the process towards the appointment of the Acting Managing Director commenced according to the relevant provisions to the CCDA Act for the convening of an appointments committee which deliberated on the candidates before it.
Mixed reactions were triggered following the appointment of Ms. Deborah Sungi as the Acting Managing Director for Climate Change and Development Authority. Many took to social media slamming the appointment as nepotism at the highest level. However, in a statement released by the Department of Personnel Management, the appointment was based on merits. Ms. Sanson explained that the appointment committee, as required by law, is made up of a DPM Secretary as the Chair, Conservation, Environment and Protection Authority Managing Director as the Deputy Chair, and members including the Department of Petroleum and Energy Secretary, Department of Agriculture Secretary, the State Solicitor, Department of Provincial and Local Level Government Affairs Secretary, and President or Chairman of the PNG Chamber of Commerce. Secretary Sanson said the assessment was based on the resume and on criteria relating to educational qualifications, relevant work experience, good governance, good administration capabilities, performance assessment, gender and age, among other information put before the appointment committee. Secretary Ms. Sanson said in terms of compliance to the membership and the quorum, this has been complied with, and the appointment committee analyzed and assessed the three names and sent the appointment committee's resolution and recommendations to NEC for their decision in making this appointment. Sharon Engnui, National EMTV News.
The Save Cavora Sivaroi Mateva fundraising group have taken the initiative to assist the people of Lesser Cavora village in East Karama in Gulf Province with the relief support since the village was adversely affected by king tide on the 10th of March. This was highlighted by the treasurer of the group, Mary Oaseoka Wia.
The treasurer of Save Cavora Sivoroi Mateva, Mary Osakawia, said she took the initiative to gather Lesser Cavora community living in the city through WhatsApp to inform and gather relief support.
Especially on a small mangrove island. Lesser Cavora is a small mangrove island. We were adversely affected on March 10 when the king tide came. After 4 days, the water had receded, and all the crops that are grown beside the house, their tapioca, their bananas, their betel nut, the daga, everything they grow on the island had been ruined.
She highlighted that the contribution to the relief support started coming in on the 10th of March, the date the village was affected. The governor for Gulf Province, Chris Iveta, in recognition of the initiative of his people, contributed 1 ton of rice and 500 kina cash to transport the supplies to Karama.
His assistance came in form of supporting Rigo rice, 1 ton, and he also said to put another one We're also going to get from the governor's office 1,000 sandbags and some spades. And that is to help the village people to help themselves. They will get those sandbags and make sure to cover which places where the water is coming in. We also have assistance from our honorable member for Kerama, Thomas Oppa. He has assisted us with transport and also Zoom.
Mary Osakawia encouraged Papua New Guineans to always take the first initiatives to help their local community and refrain from waiting on the government. She confirmed that the relief support will be transported to Lesser Cavora village tonight. Malinta Yopolo, National EMTV News.
A total of 300 international Seventh-day Adventist Church preachers will come to PNG for the program called PNG for Christ to preach the Word of God. These preachers will be delegated to all selected areas in the 22 provinces to run crusades from April 22nd to May 16th of this year.
The Seventh-day Adventist or SDA Church is embarking on the PNG for Christ program with an expectation of receiving international preachers with doctors to deliver the Word of God and to provide medical treatment. This was announced by the SDA District Director of Port Moresby North East, Edward David.
We have 300 international preachers coming. They are preachers. We also have medical team, those specialist medical team from the hospitals right around the world. Some of those doctors, they are coming, and the health services will be provided up in Western Islands province.
He mentioned that the SDA World President will also visit PNG and will be based in Jiwaka province.
President of the Seventh-day Adventist Church in the Globe or World Church is coming. He'll be preaching in Jiwaka province from April 22 to May 16. 2 weeks he'll be spending up there. So while he's coming, the team is also coming. About 300 of them, they're coming with the president.
Pastor Edward said this is an outdoor evangelism program that needs a collective effort, not only from SDAs but also the non-SDA churches.
PNG for Christ is specifically, we are hosting outdoor evangelism. So those international preachers will come and talk about the Bible and preach about Jesus Christ from the book of Revelation.
Esther Gane, National EMTV News.
Now we take a look at the Nest Fund market report. The Kina closed 2 points lower at $0.2654 in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, Yokina was buying $0.2579, $0.3921 Australian dollars, 0.2298 euro, 38.59 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold is trading lower. Coffee closed higher, cocoa closed lower, copper closed higher, palm oil closed lower, crude oil is trading higher, copper closed higher. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed higher, the ASX 200 is trading lower, the All Ordinaries is trading lower. National EMTV News continues after the break. Stay with us. You're watching National EMTV News. The third combined U.S. Coast Guard patrol, Carter Harriet Lane, returned to Port Moresby after a 5-day trip conducting a combined operation with 2 Papua New Guinea maritime security officials. The operation enabled PNG to protect its sovereignty and enforce maritime law within its exclusive economic zone using U.S. Coast Guard assets.
Elaborated of what the U.S. Coast Guard Carter Harriet Lane assistance in PNG.
And we are on our inaugural patrol in support of the Pacific Area's Operation Blue Pacific. So our stop in Port Moresby is one of many stops throughout this patrol, which will last close to 3 months in duration. And our primary focus of this patrol has been working with our partners throughout the region. And those partnerships are both at sea and also through in-port engagements where we have an opportunity to conduct community relations, key leader engagements, and then also subject matter expert exchanges.
Commander Tesoniero said that they had 2 PNG ship riders who embarked on the combined operation.
We conduct ship rider operations. What we're doing is we're utilizing the Cutter Harriet lane to take your ship riders out to sea to enforce PNG laws.
The operation was made possible by the Counter-Illicit Transnational Maritime Activity Operations Agreement or Ship Rider Agreement, which was signed in May 2023 and came into effect in August of 2023 between the United States and Papua New Guinea. Tesoniero further shared on which law enforcers they've partnered with.
Partnered up with Customs and the National Fisheries Association and had an opportunity to conduct at-sea boardings, which were determined by the PNG shipriders and focused on what their key concerns were with fisheries enforcement within the region.
The Ship Rider Agreement enables PNG maritime law enforcement officials to ride aboard U.S. Coast Guard cutters and enforce PNG law within its waters. Jonathan Sibona, National EMTV News.
The Foreign Affairs Minister, Justin Chachenko, recently presented Belgian Honorary Consul, Ms. Vani Nades, with the formal Foreign Affairs Ex-Quota certification as a formal recognition of her representative role. Minister Chachenko echoed his sentiments to former Belgian Honorary Consul, Semik Nades, who was awarded high honors by the King of Belgium, Officer in Order of the Crown in October 2023 for his long service as Honorary Consul for 29 years. He said he wished the best to Ms. Nades as she takes over from her father and upon his department, congratulated her and looks forward in working with her with regards of Belgium going forward. Ms. Nades, while thanking Minister Chachenko, added that opportunities exist and that it would take regular and closer consultations to unearth in terms of our bilateral relationship. Bank of South Pacific has distributed new computers to LaSalle Technical Secondary School, situated in the nation's capital. The bank's corporate team also refurbished used computers that were donated by the bank in some years back.
Students of LaSalle Technical Secondary School used refurbished computers that were donated some 10 years ago in a computer lab that needed a facelift and had been seeking assistance for the last 3 years. BSP, through its annual community project initiatives, had its corporate banking team refurbish the school's computers lab, countertops, and took a step further to assist the school with the purchase of new computer sets equipped with UPS and basic software including Microsoft Office and antivirus. BSP Corporate General Manager Peter Beswick stated that his team and their families spent 2 weekends to assist with the lab renovation works prior to the project handover recently. Principal of LaSalle Technical Secondary School, Brother Anton Pancras, said the school offers TVET courses, one of which is IT, and this project will have a positive impact on the IT students. Brother Anthony expressed gratitude on behalf of his staffs and students, sharing that this was not the first time BSP has supported the LaSallian family. Jonathan Sibona, National EMTV News.
National EMTV News continues after the break with TRAI Sport. Stay with us.
TRAI Sport.
Welcome to TRAI Sports. The NCDC School Rugby League has launched today has been launched today at the Sir Hubert Murray Stadium in Port Moresby.
Being the longest running school competition in the country, NCDC School Rugby League President Arnold Gende acknowledged the support of the PNG Rugby Football League and the National Capital District Commission.
On that note, I would like to thank PNG RFL, Community Rugby League, Port Moresby Rugby League, Moresby South Rugby League, and all participating or affiliated schools in NCD for being part of the family of rugby league, schools rugby league in the nation's capital.
With leadership and support from NCDC, City Manager Ravu Frank shared these sentiments.
And I'm excited that our NCDC board has also allocated some budget for sports, and that's for Vipers and also junior sports programs.
PNG Rugby Football League CEO Stanley Ondina said that this program will pave way for future talents.
But this process in the game in a partnership like this is about building the core values and installing these values in our young kids that are growing up. The values that actually I called out the other day: teamwork, discipline, commitment, being honest, being reliable, turning up on time. These are things that we use rugby league as a carrot.
Jonathan Sibona, TRAI Sports.
The Isuzu T20 match will commence this month with Isuzu as the naming rights sponsor. Cricket PNG will kick off the Isuzu T20 match competition with the men games on the 29th of March and complete the finals on the 13th of April. The women games will start on the 20th of April and end in May. All the Isuzu T20 Smash matches will be held at the Amini Park at Bisini Sports Precincts in Baroko, Port Moresby. Lynette Roakena took home the Best Mid-Court Award during the grand finale of Port Moresby's biggest netball competition. Representing PNG Ports and playing in the private company's netball competition, Roakena has proved her abilities in the margins of the court. She claimed her passion for the sport and also stated that the competition provides the arena to network with others while maintaining health and fitness. Meanwhile, officer in charge of PNG Ports, Ian Hayden Smart, congratulated Lynette and Team PNG Ports for a successful season. Corporate Softball Sevens Director James Lumares revealed plans for the upcoming preseason tournament, which will either be an additional warm-up event or the highly anticipated Moneyball tournament.
In an exclusive interview with TRAI Sports, Lumares unveiled the unique concept behind the Moneyball tournament. Unlike traditional softball competitions, where teams compete solely for victory, this innovative event promises an added incentive. Every hit will be monetarily rewarded.
So after this tournament, we will have our pre-season. We're juggling between running or trying to make a choice between running the pre-season or run the Moneyball tournament. So Moneyball tournament is like right now where softball is played. It's like you make money every hit you make when you hit a ball or you score every run. So you will give opportunity for people to win back their money for their registration, from their registration. So every time you play, you can, I think the maximum you can earn up to 900 kina for a game. You can play for it in a game.
Lumares emphasized the aim of this initiative is to foster greater interest and participation in softball. By introducing a financial component to the game, he believes it will attract both seasonal players and newcomers alike, sparking renewed enthusiasm within the softball community. The prospect of earning money with every hit is expected to draw teams in from various corporate backgrounds eager to showcase their skills on the diamond. Lumares expressed confidence that the Moneyball tournament will inject fresh energy into the sport, paving the way for accelerating seasons ahead. James Guken, TRAI Sports.
The AFL PNG has successfully completed week 4 of its Super Kick program.
With 2 more weeks left to end the program, AFL PNG Development Southern Region Manager David Topeni told TRAI Sports today that one of the main objectives of the program is to identify talents in the region.
Yes, our database proved that we have already identified kids that come through the program, and they also be part of our academy once they are ready to be part of the program. So we start them early, so skill them with the basic skills, and then we push them into our academy pathway program. So Southern Region will be the first region to have the Southern Regional Carnival coming up next month. So the kids that registered in our Super Kick will be part of the Southern Region Carnival in a few weeks' time. So we will let them know, give the parents consent form out to their parents as well to sign them, and then allow them to be part of our regional carnival coming up.
He further stressed that AFL PNG will host a regional carnival this year.
It's a Southern Regional Carnival where identified kid will be part of that program. It's not a game carnival, but it's a testing carnival that we're going to do certain different types of testing to grade them to be part of the academy talent camp. So all the regions will have their carnivals coming up as well. So Southern region will be the first ones to have their regional, and then we followed by the Northern, NGI and Islands region as well. So all those centers are already ready for the regional carnivals as well. So we're looking forward for the big event coming up next month.
Jonathan Sibona, TRAI Sports.
That ends TRAI Sports. The Money Plus weather report is next. Stay with us.
TRAI Sport. TRAI Sport.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by Money Plus, with you always.
The weather forecast for the next 24 hours in the southern region: Port Moresby City, partly cloudy with possible afternoon showers. Papondeta, partly cloudy with few showers. In the Momasa region, Lake City, partly cloudy with some showers. Vanimo, cloudy with some showers and possible thunderstorms. In the New Guinea Islands region, Lorengau, partly cloudy with few showers. Buka, some showers and possible thunderstorms. In the Highlands region, Mount Hagen City, cloudy with some showers and possible thunderstorms. Menditari and Wabeg, rain showers and possible thunderstorms.
The weather update was proudly brought to you by Money Plus, with you always.
And that wraps up the news, sports and weather for Wednesday, the 28th of March, 2024. From all of us here, pleasant viewing. Good night.
This news program was proudly brought to you by Smart Start Breakfast Biscuits and Gold Nuggets.